Welcome to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show. We're in Stratford, Connecticut at an absolutely amazing event, the grand opening of Jared's Dog Park.
1, 2, 3.
Jared was a lifelong animal lover. He volunteered for the Audubon Society and for the Trumbull Animal Group. He was a volunteer firefighter and a volunteer EMT. In 2016, Jared died from the injuries he suffered after being hit by a drunk driver. And in his memory, his parents worked hard to create this amazing park. And here it is. We are so excited. You must be absolutely thrilled.
Over the moon. I mean, it's been such a long journey, and to finally have the park open for all the dog owners of Stratford just to come and run and play and socialize, it's fantastic. It's a dream come true.
And it's a huge turnout, and it turned out beautifully. It is huge.
It's an acre and a half acre, and we want the dogs to be able to really get some exercise in. And I know Jared's looking down and smiling, and if he was here, his dogs would be running back and forth too. So this park will be here and enjoyed long after I'm gone. So that's what we're looking forward to, just people having fun and dogs having fun.
And today there's a place for the little dogs, a place for the big dogs,
right.
And there was benches that people have donated.
Yeah, we tried to set up the benches so that at least half of them were in the sun or the shade all day long, so you could have a shady spot and the water fountains. And yeah, it's just been a great community support from the town and from individuals and from businesses. So we're just ecstatic. We really are.
Fantastic. We're so happy for you. This is just perfection, pup perfection.
Yes, yes it is.
As Jared's mom, you must be so excited, feeling like he's right here now.
I am very excited, and it is so bittersweet. Don't want to cry, but I keep telling people, if you see little white feathers falling down, you'll know he's here, being very happy.
I know, and I know it's bittersweet, but the work that you guys have
my
done.
Husband, my husband did it all. It was just my idea. How hard could it be? Who knew 3.5 years later what it would entail? But he worked hard. He hired somebody to help him put in the footings for all the benches.
Beautiful.
He was hardly ever home. Now he'll have time, some more time for golf.
Well, are you surprised at how beautifully it all turned out?
We had a general idea, but when they actually put the fence in to see the size of it was incredible.
I know when we were here, it was just a couple of wood chips. We didn't see the fence, and it's just absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, we're very happy to have done this.
And you had such a great turnout, and even your officer Hex was here, the canine officer.
Canine Officer Diaz was here. When we found out that Stratford was looking for another canine, we wanted to ensure that the town got another dog they needed, and it was part of Jared's legacy because of the insurance money. And we also did a scholarship for a Bunnell High School student so she can go to veterinary school. And she was here today. So that's what we have done to try to make the world a better place with our loss.
I was trying to put in for a canine, and our unit was running short on dogs, and we happened to have a family donate towards Hex, which is my canine, which isn't a cheap endeavor. It's $15,000 just to raise for a dog. So you can imagine how grateful we are.
And now you have become fairly close with the family.
Absolutely, yeah. So we communicate all the time by email. Hex has gotten very close to them. You can see all the pictures and everything we saw before. He'll sit on them and just lay on them like he's family. So he's used to seeing them all the time.
Oh, so beautiful, and all in the honor of a very special young man. When we come back, we're gonna meet a really beautiful dog who proves a handicap is absolutely no barrier to living the fullest, grandest life possible. Stay tuned, you will fall in love, I promise. Welcome back to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show. Look at this sweet baby. This is Tonka. He is so full of love, so full of life. You would never know that he has faced some really tough challenges.
Yes, Tonka was born with congenital bilateral elbow luxation is the term, and it basically means his elbows were fused. He was unable to walk as other dogs walk. He kind of army crawled around with the front of his body down in a downward dog position and his behind up and his back legs bowed out. So the first 5 months of his life he was army crawling. So he was brought into Connecticut by Project Precious Rescue, who was great in finding him the surgeon up at Cornell University in Ithaca, where he had this amazing surgery that was able to give him the ability to walk somewhat normally. So he can walk now. He's got, you know, a couple scars going down the sides of both legs, but he's got still a few issues and still some challenges. So we're gonna go today and we're gonna go get a brace for him.
So we're actually going to go with you, and we're going to get to see that in a little while. But first I want people to understand what a lucky puppy is, right? To have found you. And it was sort of, at first you were a little reluctant because you had just lost one of your beautiful babies.
I did. My last dog, Trip, he passed from cancer on May 15th, 2017. He had bone cancer. We got a diagnosis in Christmas of 2016. I was told to put him down 2 days later, and then I didn't because I could tell he wasn't ready to go, and I was able to give him another 6 months of living through natural therapy as I got him a wheelchair, and then he finally passed in May, peacefully. And then this guy came along. I saw him on Facebook. He was being fostered by some people that I knew, and I just wanted to meet him. So we met. I had no intention of adopting a dog at that time. I wasn't ready for anything, but then I looked into these beautiful eyes, and I was really drawn in and I was interested. So when it came time for him to be adopted, Project Precious contacted me.
And that was that.
And that was it. Game over.
Love at
Yes.
first sight.
Yes.
And he's so beautiful and really so special, because even though I guess he would be classified as maybe handicapped,
Special
you would
needs,
never
yeah.
even know it. He does so many things.
He goes on hikes. He rolls around in the stroller, multiple strollers that we have. We have an off-road and then we have a city stroller as well. So he's got both of those. He loves the car. Anytime you say, let's go for a RIDE, he's really excited to go do that. And he loves people.
And really nothing holds him back.
No, he's really motivated. It's like he doesn't know he has the disability.
And you've given him a lot of time and attention that goes into this. You
Absolutely.
do therapy, you do water therapy. And today we got to come and watch him swim, and he really seems to love that.
Oh, he does.
Of course, we should mention that he has a beautiful bathing suit, and you have a matching face mask.
My matching face mask. There
Very
it is.
adorable. He seems to love, there you go.
For times
He
of
seems to love
COVID.
it. I feel like he's like in the 1820s or something.
He is. He's so tired right now.
He's
It's all
so
that
cute.
swimming.
And so swimming is really an important activity for him.
It is, because he can get the exercise in his muscles without weight bearing. And that's a lot for him because he tires out quickly because of the weight bearing on his legs. I can just hold on to him for about 10 minutes and he just paddles in place and then swims to shore.
And it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And what's really amazing is that there's a connection to something that happened with your boyfriend.
Yes. In July, he lost his leg. July 2018, he lost his leg in a motorcycle accident. So he had known Tonka for a few months prior to the accident. And then after the accident, when he was going through recovery and therapy and everything else, Tonka was a pretty big motivation to him, considering all that this little guy's been through and the drive that he still had and the amazing quality of not giving up. He would just push through and try and try and try, and that gave Brandon a lot of motivation to do the same.
So now we're actually going to go with you to watch him being fitted for his final brace.
Yes, finally. So a couple weeks ago, we went to see Mr. Pat Donnelly, who he is the owner of Brace and Limb of Connecticut in Wallingford. And we got a casting done, and he's going to create, well, he has created a brace from the cast.
So today we're here to fit a carpal brace on Tonka. We're trying to prevent his foot from supinating so much, which is giving him a great deal of pain on the side of his foot, and long term, he'll just simply break down and have problems with that. So if we can control it, protect it, have him walk in a more anatomically correct way, would be much better for Tonka. And this is the brace that we have made for him. We're just doing some adjusting on it. This is our first fitting. We just tried him in it and he did well. I have some areas I've identified I'd like to remove a little bit of material. I like as little brace as possible, but still effective. And that's it.
So how do you think it's working? He seemed to enjoy getting it on.
He did. He really enjoyed getting it on, and he took immediately to the brace. And even since we've been at the office, he's been walking around on it. I think he feels more stable. He's finally getting this leg underneath him where it's supposed to be, and he actually has put all of his weight on this leg and gave the other leg a rest for a change.
This is just another hurdle that he's gone over.
Yep, it's the next chapter of Mr. Tonka's life. He's got his own Instagram account, he's got his own Facebook account, and I have people that make comments or even write special little notes to him in my private messages, or he has his own email account too. So they will email us and tell us that on their darkest days, they just see a post of his and it really pushes them to want to go further, and he inspires them, and he's inspired people worldwide.
Oh, I just love him. He is pure sweetness. And coming up next, if you are looking for a way to relax, a stress buster, we got it. I promise. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show. Look, I'm with Capone. We're at Asakita Farm in Manchester, Connecticut. And we actually have to change and get ready because we are headed for a social. That's right, guys, a Piggy Social.
We do piglet socials here at Asakita Acres, typically every single year, right around the months of June, July, August, and September. That's when our pigs have their babies, and people come to the farm and they get to socialize with these little guys. They get to come in and interact with them. They get to let them chew on their shoes and give them belly rubs and just have a really good time with them.
It's such a wonderful idea, and we're sitting here watching. It's very therapeutic.
It is extremely therapeutic, especially right now with the situation that we have with COVID and things like that. What happens is that a lot of our healthcare workers, they're just working so much and they're so stressed, or the teachers, or even just family members, or anybody who has just had a bad day. They just come here and they sit with these babies and they literally just de-stress. They're very relaxing.
And what strikes me is it's all different ages. It's men, it's women, it's girls, it's boys. It's really a cross-section.
It absolutely is. We're an educational farm, so we're not only educating the young, there's so often times where adults have never had this experience ever in their lives, and they are just so absolutely amazed to learn new things about different animals that we have here on the farm. So we have people from all walks of lives come to our farm, and what makes us different is that we actually let people come in with our animals. So we walk people through all of our pastures, and they're literally inside with them. So they can touch them, pet them, feed them, hold them, and just really have that one-on-one experience versus feeding them through the fence. So when we do our farm tours and bring people into our farm and into our pastures, it's usually about an hour and a half or so that they get to interact and actually touch and feel and just bond with everything. We have two different types of socials, and then we have our farm animal tour. When we do our socials, say we did a piglet social, you're in here with just the baby piglets, and we're spending all of our time with those. The other very popular event that we have is called baby goat socials. And with the baby goat socials, everybody gets a chair, everybody sits down, and we literally are putting baby goats in your lap. And those baby goats just fall asleep, and you just sit there and rock them and pet them as they sleep in your lap.
And I know for you it's very important that none of these pigs or your other farm animals, they're not raised for meat.
They are
the only
not.
way I can say it. I think that's really important for you to have people know that these are all raised for educational purposes.
That's correct.
Or pets.
Yep, so we don't raise anything on our farm for consumption. Everything here is raised for either pets, companions, or education. And we make sure that people follow through with that. So if somebody takes home an animal from us, we have a contract that states right in there that these animals are not meant for consumption. They are strictly for the purpose of those three things that I just stated.
And these pigs, I have to say, they are a little unusual. I keep thinking I'm seeing little Dalmatians, right? They're
So yes,
a different type of pig.
So these pigs are actually a crossbreed of a Juliana pig and a Kuni pig. They are definitely much more rare than your typical pig that is raised for commercial purposes or your typical farm pig. So these guys come in all these amazing colors, and you never really know what you're going to get until they're born.
They will get bigger though.
They will get bigger. So these pigs are actually what I consider, these are pet pigs. Lots of people out there are selling pigs that they are calling teacup pigs, and that's really truly a misconception. There really is no such thing as a mini or a teacup pig. The reason why they use that terminology is because most commercial pigs, they can be anywhere from approximately 700 to about 1,200 pounds. These guys can be anywhere from 150 to actually almost up to 375 pounds, depending on the breed of pig it is and also how you care for it as well.
And I know you also offer goat yoga.
We do. We've done goat yoga for many years. This year we haven't had an opportunity with COVID and such to offer it, but we most certainly will be jumping back into that next year very strong.
And I have to mention that you have beautiful dogs, which really is how the name of your farm obviously came to be.
It
You have
did.
Aussies and you have Akitas.
I've been raising Akitas and Australian Shepherds for probably the past 20 so years. They are my heart and soul. I love my dogs. And so I decided to name the farm after them. So the farm is Osakita Acres, after my Aussies and my Akitas.
And we saw one of your Aussies in here with the piggies, Ryder, right?
Yes, Ryder is, he is a very special, very unique boy. He actually goes into the pastures with all of our animals and gets along with everybody. Everybody loves him. He's just part of the farm.
It's gorgeous too. It's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
If somebody was interested in coming for one of these socials or encounters, or even hopefully soon your yoga, how can they find you?
So the best place to find me is on social media. So if they went to Facebook and found our Facebook page, which is Osakita Acres Farm, or they went on to Instagram, the same name, they can most certainly look up with all the events and such. Everything that we do is a scheduled event. So once you find the event that you wish to partake in, the absolute best way to contact us is actually through text. If you just text us, I will text you right back, and then we can set up a reservation for you to come and enjoy our animals that way.
Coming up next, we're going to meet some amazing dog acrobats. You will not believe this. Stay tuned. Lauren's Crazy Pet Show will be right back. So can your dog do this? Okay, how about this? And this? I know mine can't. These are the Olate Dogs. And this is just incredible, Nick.
Thank you so
and
much. I
congratulations, you guys actually won America's Got Talent.
Yes, we did. It was in 2012. It was their 7th season.
This 7th season, you must have been blown over, because when I see what you guys are doing, I am just, I can't believe it. I'm blown away. How do you do it?
It's really just a lot of patience. My dad started this when he was a young boy. He was about 12 years old, so he's been doing it for about 49 years now. And he kind of just has a special, I want to say a special connection. You know, I think that sometimes there's people that are born to do things. I think my dad was born to, you know, to train dogs. He just has a really special way of handling them and stuff like that, and it's pretty crazy.
And Lauren's Crazy Pet Show, that's us, have come here to the Ridgefield Playhouse, which is where you're going to be performing.
Yes.
Where you're performing tonight. So what is in store? What are people going to see?
So they'll see a wide variety. They'll see comedy skits. We have a doggy fashion show that we have dogs dressed up as like Elvis and Cuban Pete for like the people that have seen The Mask, and we have Batman, and so it's really funny. We have a funny fashion show, and then
we have a conga line, right?
Yeah, we have a conga line. So we have the serious tricks that people saw like on America's Got Talent, with like the backflips and jump ropes and handstands and all of that. I myself am a singer, so I also sing in the show. I also juggle, so I do a juggling act in the show as well. And it's just a wide variety, but it's all dog centered. So the dogs are pretty incredible.
And many of the dogs have been rescued.
Yes. So we try to rescue all of our dogs. The only times that we don't rescue a dog is if we're looking for a specific breed that we can't find in shelters. But other than that, yeah, the majority of our dogs are rescued.
And it's really a family affair.
It is. My father and myself are the ones that perform. My mother runs the sound and the backstage, all the activities backstage. My wife is also a part of the show as well. My son was actually just born not too long ago, so she's not performing right now, but she's
I think we saw her because we're getting a sneak backstage here. And on stage here, before you've begun, we get to come here, so thank you for that.
Of course, no problem.
We see some of the items that you use.
Yes.
So maybe you can just give us a little tour. I love this Batman. I mean,
Yeah,
let's
so this
forget
is
about it.
where our Batman dressed dog, he actually comes out driving the Batman thing. I mean, obviously he's not driving, but he comes out sitting in it. Yeah. And then we have our slide that we haven't put together just yet. We have our pedestals right over here where the dogs kind of just sit between their tricks and whatnot.
But they just sit there. Like,
You know what's funny is that's one of the things that people ask the most is like, you know what, I love the tricks and whatever, but how do they sit there for that long? I'm like, I don't know, they're really good at doing that.
And what kind of training, Nick, goes into this? Every day, all the time, but
So,
you're on the road as well. So
not every day. We have times out of the year that we'll train, but that all depends as well on if we're trying to put something new into the show. So if we're, preparing to introduce something new to the audience, then yes, we'll spend about a month or two, kind of training on different tricks and stuff.
Do you train with food or do you train with play?
No, we train with just love and
Because they want to play. Because some people don't understand. Because I know my dog would never do this.
But that's the thing. It's like you being a dog owner, you know how they just love you and they want to please you and they want to be with you, and so that's kind of the way that my dad goes about it. I like to call our system of training dogs kind of a step-by-step system. So like, let's say you want to get a dog to walk around on his hind legs. What you'll do is you'll grab their front paws and you'll walk around with them. And you'll kind of play and dance around and the dogs are excited about it. And eventually, without them knowing, their hind legs are building muscle. You know what I mean? Over time, you can stop holding onto their hands and kind of just pat their hands, and it kind of gets them to slowly start getting balance. So it's a very step-by-step procedure, and it's kind of, in a sense, you're kind of tricking the dogs into learning tricks because, you're always trying to make sure that they have a good time. And it doesn't matter if they're progressing slowly, if they're progressing quickly, we're always kind of playing with them and kissing them and trying to get them excited because you know how you baby talk a dog and they go wild, so it's kind of
melt.
Like that.
You can say that they do. Now, does anything ever go wrong on stage? Like, do they not do a trick and then, who would know though if you're sitting in the audience, you wouldn't even know?
That's the one good thing about working with dogs is when something doesn't go right, it's kind of like, oh, well, they're dogs. It's not, you know what I mean? So it's a cute kind of a thing. But yeah, dogs.
Did you ever have something that you can remember, like one ran off stage or anything
we've had dogs run off stage like all the time. When I was younger, we had, they were wire hair fox terriers. And when we first got them, we didn't know that they were hunting dogs. So we were performing and any little animal on the distance or any little sound that they would hear, they would want to, run after it. And there's been times where we've been performing, I look and the dog's gone, and you're like, where'd she go? And then it's over there, so I have to run, and my dad's performing by himself, and then I come back by like the end of the act, and I'm like, all right, I got here just in time to style. Okay.
It's more exhausting for you than for the dogs out there.
It was really funny.
So when you won America's Got Talent, you must have been absolutely thrilled. Did you expect that?
No, not at all, because that was, I don't want to be biased and say, oh, that was the best season, but I think it was the best season in the sense that it was such a wide variety. You know what I mean? There was just so many diverse acts that were on that season that could have easily won. So it was very unexpected for us to win because we figured, oh, this person's incredible, they're going to win. Oh, this person's good. And then when it was us, we were like, all right, okay, woo.
Did the dogs get extra bones that night?
They did.
If our viewers want to come and see you, where can they get in touch with you? Because you travel all around.
Yes, you can go to olatedogs.com. We have our entire tour schedule there. We have our Instagram, Olate Dogs, as well, and then our Twitter as well. And so we try as much as possible. We're always driving everywhere because we don't like flying with our dogs, so we drive everywhere constantly. So sometimes it takes a little while for us to get back to people. But if you want to check out our show, go to olatedogs.com. You can go to the tour tab, and we have all of our tour there, so hopefully.
It's so worth it, so
Yeah.
worth it. And can you come to my house and train my dog? Thank you so much, Nick.
No problem, of
And
course.
thank you, everybody out there. This has been Lauren's Crazy Pet Show.